Second-year player for the Miami Heat, Jaime Jaquez Jr. He will change everything for this Miami Heat basketball team in 24-25, either for the better or even maybe possibly for the worse. We'll explain what I mean by that here in this show. This is the Heat Report by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff. But before we get into what I'm talking about with Triple J, make sure you like today's video. Not for me, not for yourself, but for Jaime Jaquez Jr. because he had an unbelievably good rookie season where he finished on the first team All-Rookie and was in the top 5 of Rookie of the Year voting. And I want to show him love, so hit that thumbs up icon. Let's get 250 likes for Triple J. All right, the reason why I think Jaime Jaquez Jr. will change everything for the Heat, for the better, for the worse, is because he is the one player where maybe you could say him and Nikola Jovic, but in terms of not knowing where they will be and how they will play this season. Like, we kind of know what Tyler Hero is. We know what Bam is. We know what Jimmy is. We know what Duncan Robinson is. We kind of know what Terry Rozier is. But we don't know what Nikola Jovic and Jaime Jaquez Jr. is. And if Triple J is able to improve from what he did in his rookie season, well, maybe this does raise the ceiling of this Heat team. Allows them to be better in the regular season. It allows them to be more competitive in the postseason. And they're one of the top 4 teams in the Eastern Conference. And you might ask yourself and ask me, well, what type of improvements are you talking about from year 1 to year 2? Well, here's the 3 things that I have set out for Jaime Jaquez Jr. that I want to see him improve on this year. One was the 3-point shooting. Like, that is clear as day what he needed to improve on. Number 2, he needed to become an improved defender, especially with the loss to Caleb Martin, which we'll talk about later on in the show, so stay tuned for that. And then I also think he needed to become more confident with the ball in his hands, be a better playmaker, because I don't think Terry Rozier is the most natural point guard. You can say the same thing for Tyler Hero, and I don't think the Heat have a true distributor of the basketball, which means it's kind of a committee basis of playmaking between him, Jimmy, Bam, Tyler, Terry. And I think Jaime, sometimes late in games, would get pressured by opposing defenses when he had the ball in his hands, and he would turn the ball over. So we need to see an improvement on that. But specifically, let's start at the 3-point shooting, because the numbers weren't great last year. And when I'm talking about improvements to Jaime Jaquez Jr., I'm not only specifically talking about the efficiency, because we know that has to improve, right? When you go down the line of every single spot on the floor beyond the arc, 27, 32, 35, 32, 37, those are not good. Those are below league average and every single metric. But the concerning part about that is not the below league average percentile, but it's the actual volume on that. Like, he's shooting a very low percentage from 3 at almost every single area with not a lot of volume. So when you actually speak on what the development looks like for Jaime Jaquez Jr., it looks like, one, efficiency better, and hopefully we can get him to like around 35, 36, 37% at each location. That would be ideal. Actually, not even, let's scratch that. What I'm looking to see is, could we get 35, 36, 37 from the top of the break, left wing, right wing, top of the key, and then be closer to 40% from the corners? Because if you're a good 3-point shooter, you're pretty much 38% or better from the corners, whether it be left or right side. And we also need that volume to increase. I think the highest number on that 3-point shooting was from the left corner where he shot 59 threes this past year. That's what it was. That's not very good in terms of the high volume. So to match the volume with efficiency is the important thing here for Jaime Jaquez Jr. It's not just improving the numbers, but we need to get the numbers better while also taking more shots. And good news for us is that Jaime Jaquez Jr. has actually recognized that this is probably the number one thing he has to improve on this season. Because he spoke to local Heat reporters and said that my 3-point shooting, that's an area that I really want to improve. I feel like I needed to improve if we wanted to, as a team, make the strides and jumps that we need to try to win a championship. And just really honing in on my mechanics and getting a bunch of reps up. And I tell you what, we're going to go through this entire show, and you're going to see some quotes from Jaime Jaquez Jr. paired up with statistics, my thoughts as well, so stay tuned for the entire episode. But the fact that he's able to recognize that the one thing holding him back right now as a basketball player, and it's not something that we're panicking over, because for him to be as good as he has been in 1 year is absolutely terrific and could not be expected from Miami's perspective after drafting him 18th overall. But the fact that he's able to recognize that he needed to become a good and better three-point shooter for this Heat team to be better as a whole, not just himself, but the team, is huge. And that is why I am very excited to watch Jaime Jaquez Jr. in year 2. But I do want to do a little social experiment with the Heat fans down in the comment section. And really give me your votes. If you get hit with a YouTube ad break, you might. That's fine. But give me your prediction on what Jaime Jaquez Jr. will shoot from 3 in 24-25. I want to know what everyone thinks, so scroll down and let me know. As we progress here into what is next for Jaime Jaquez Jr., we talked about the three-point shooting, but his defense will need to improve as well. And it's not me really saying that he's a bad defender. I don't want that to be thought of in the slightest. But with the loss of Caleb Martin and DeLon Wright, 2 of your better defenders off the bench at the point of attack and on the perimeter, Jaime Jaquez Jr. will likely need to fill that role left by Martin and DeLon Wright. And we'll talk about more of that just a second. But we are sponsored by PrizePicks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app on the planet. And I could not watch Miami Heat basketball without PrizePicks. And if you watched our watch parties last year, you would have known that I play PrizePicks on a daily basis. And I implore you to do the same thing because they got more than 5 million active members. And unlike other apps, you just play the numbers. You don't play other people. You pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you can watch the winnings roll in. And right now, you could actually win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks based on how you play your entry. Because you can do demons, you can do goblins. And the reason why PrizePicks is the absolute best is because you can customize your entry. You can do season-long projections. You can do daily projections across all sports leagues and sports, golf, football, basketball, baseball, still left. Hockey is just around the corner. You can do it all. And with this entry that I have right now, it's for the entire basketball season. I got more than on Bam Adebayo, 9.9 rebounds. More than 6.8 assists for Jalen Bronson. Less than on Zachary Reese-Sachet, 10.2 points per game. There's just so many different ways to play. And with some other cool features like flex play, PrizePicks invented that. It means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. For example, I did a power play with that, but if I did a flex play and I went 2 for 3, I'd still be able to get some money. So get started with PrizePicks. Download the app and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play 5. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play 5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, when you think of the top defenders on the Miami Heat, Bam Adebayo, clear-cut number 1. And at this point in their careers, I think Haywood Highsmith is the second best defender on this Heat team. He can guard really 1 through 4, and on small occasions, even guard a center if he needed to for a quick second. I think Jimmy's number 3, but Jaime Jaquez Jr. is your 4. And the scary part about this Heat team, if we're being real here, is that after these 4 guys, who is next? Because now you start to get into the Josh Richardsons, the rookie Kel'el Ware, Tyler Hero, Terry Rozier, Duncan Robinson. And half those guys, if not all of them I just mentioned, are not good defenders. Kel'el Ware can be a good defender, but it's in more of an unknown due to him being a rookie. Legitimately, it actually might be the second-round pick, Pallel Larson, out of Arizona, who we might have to do a deep dive on him leading up to training camp here in the next couple of weeks. But Jaquez Jr. is a top 4 defender on this team, and he will have an expanded role on the defensive side of the floor, specifically with Caleb Martin gone. And we've teased that. With Caleb gone, who was your 6th man last year, he was the first man off the bench. He was also, when he came into the game, the person you put on the opposing team's best 2 guard, even point guard at times, the 3, to give Jimmy Butler a rest when he was on the bench, or just allow Jimmy to guard someone not as ball dominant, not as good offensively, and you give Caleb Martin that energizer role because he doesn't do as much offensively as Jimmy Butler does. And Triple J might have to be one of the lead wing defenders for the Miami Heat because Highsmith is not going to play as much as Triple J, and you're not going to find another bench player that is going to be that good defensively. And I'm glad that Jaime Jaquez Jr. shared this quote as you read it on screen right now. He wants to get the, assignment, I should say, to be the lead defender. He wants that. He is expected to get that. And that is why I love the mindset of Jaime Jaquez Jr. It's top tier. Not only mentioning that he recognized he needed to improve as a three-point shooter, and he made a effort to improve on that. And I can't wait to see the, fruition, that might not be the right word. I don't even know what I'm talking about over here. It might be it's going to be fun to see the results of his improvement this offseason and his three-point shooting. But then with his mindset of saying that he wants to be the guy that Eric Spoelstra can go and say, yeah, we need you to go chase around Jaylen Brown. We need you to go lock in and guard Jason Tatum. That is fantastic to hear, because getting him to be one of those guys that is a two-way monster, gives you 17, 18 potentially a night offensively, but also is one of the best defenders in the NBA on the wings and the perimeter for this Heat basketball team. That is where he takes the step to an all-star caliber player and really changes the entire outlook on the Miami Heat. Because if he gives you what I just said, 15 plus with good defense on the wing, well, now you can play him with Jimmy, with Bam, and now you really have a well-rounded roster that can do it all. It excites me to see what Jaime Jaquez Jr. will bring to the table offensively and defensively this season. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because we will cover everything around the Miami Heat, whether it's news, whether it's rumors, whether it's segments like this, breaking down players. And when training camp begins in a couple weeks, we will have you covered on everything coming out of the Bahamas, as well as watch parties for the NBA season. So come join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Lock us in. There is another quote that I wanted to share from Jaime Jaquez Jr., and it results to his playmaking. I laid out the three things that I said I needed to have him improve on. Well, he recognized it, and I think he actually followed my three-step plan of him improving to a T, because he also added that he's trying to be the best playmaker he can. He wants to be someone that makes the right decisions and that Eric Spoelstra can trust in big moments down the stretch with the ball in his hands, whether it be handling the ball or running the offense and finding open players. And that's just so awesome to hear, right? When you looked at what Jaime did last season, the scoring was something that I think shocked all of us. I did not expect Jaime to average damn near 12 points a game last season. I expected him to be efficient, because that's just who he was at UCLA, and he gets most of his buckets within the free throw line, right? 10 feet and in, mid-range jumpers, at the rim, post moves. But the thing that I'd like to see after 1 year is him playmaking, because he gets downhill. He does. He gets to the rack. And when you start to break down your defender more and more, you're going to get more of a defensive effort, a scouting report from your opposing teams, and they'll crash on you. So to him, I need him to be able to have a tight handle where he can handle the ball in tight situations when multiple people are close to him inside the painted area, but also be able to make quick, sharp, decisive, accurate passes, whether it be dropping it off to someone on the dunker spot on the baseline, or kicking it out to Duncan Robinson or Tyler Hero or Terry Rozier for a three-point catch-and-shoot opportunity. It is important for me to be able to see him improve as a playmaker, and I am very, very excited to see how he is able to perform this upcoming season. And I will be honest, this Heat season could go in a lot of different ways. We could have a healthy year where everyone stays healthy and the Heat are a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference, and it's fun. It also could get ugly where there's injuries and this team is in the 8th seed again and they end up having to trade potentially Jimmy Butler at the trade deadline. But there is one guarantee. I am excited to watch Nikola Jovic's development in year 3, Jaime Jaquez in year 2, Kel'el Ware as a rookie, and Bam Adebayo's continued improvement on the offensive end as well. Those are the 4 guys that, no matter how this Heat season ends up playing out, those 4 guys I'll be excited to watch every single day. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. I want you to spam those triple J's down in the comments section. We wanted to show him love today and how he is the biggest X factor and how he can change everything for the Miami Heat. So show him love down below by spamming those triple J's. But also, be subscribed to the channel because we're dropping videos every single day. I'm Nic Rohloff. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. And if you're still here watching and you aren't subscribed, what are you doing? You clearly like what we're talking about, so join the channel because watch parties are just about a month away.